platforms. So Jidda, we're starting. So moving forward, so Jidda, can you just introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi guys, hi everyone. So I'm Amitrajit. I think are you guys able to hear me clearly?
Absolutely, Amrita.
Sure. Yeah, I think everyone can call me Jeet. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. So a little bit about me. One second, I'll just start my video if that helps. Or yeah, am I visible?
Yes, you are, Jidda. Yes, you are.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, you are.
So hi everyone. So I'm Amitrajit, and I'm currently working at Flipkart. I have been working in this industry for about 2 years now, about to be, and I have worked for other companies such as in the past. Like currently, I'm at Flipkart. Previously, I've been working at Rakuten, and mainly in the e-commerce domain. So uh, apart from that, I think a lot of you might relate to me because I think a lot of UEM crowd is here. So I am also from University of Engineering and Management. I'm 2020 graduate, and yeah, I think that's quite a professional one. Outside professional, I think I love other than coding, I love writing blogs, I love driving, I love reading books. So yeah, binging. So that's a bit
Cool.
about me, and yeah, I guess we are good to go. So yeah,
Cool.
one question before I start. I have created a very small poll to understand what is the audience like. So I'll just send that poll right now. And if you guys can like quickly put that in, like which year are you currently in, so that it would help me understand what is your current stage.
Okay, people are voting. I
Jida is
guess.
very adaptive. He adapted this
Yeah,
poll
yeah,
and
yeah. Jidda. Yeah, Jidda is very adaptive. So, I guess most of the people are from second year. 59% of our audience right now is from second year. 63%. It is 65. Yeah, most of the people are from second year. That's cool. That's a very like that's the
That's an amazing.
perfect time you should watch this event, right?
Absolutely. I think that's probably second year is probably the sweetest part of engineering career where you uh, kind of you have that fun. You also have that little bit of tinge of seriousness of placements, and also you're kind of in that fun mood. So amazing. I'm sure like all those 40-45 people who have joined here are pretty serious about that. So congratulations. I guess you are past 90% of the people. So yeah,
Yeah.
little bit
Cool.
about me. I gave my introduction. So yeah, I guess we are good to go.
So, just to stretch this thing a little forward, we can see most of the people are from second year. Can you just tell in short what you were doing when you were in your second year of engineering?
Sure. I think going back to those days, I think in second year I was pretty busy organizing some events in for college. Not much into coding, but yeah, coding was very. So I guess I started coding professionally, not professionally, very seriously at the middle or end of second year. And I guess people who are watching this second year, you guys have pretty much time and you guys in a good place. So if you guys follow what I'm going to say for the next, I guess, 30 minutes, so you're good to go. I was probably starting doing computer programming in second year end or something like that. And other than that, I was pretty much busy doing other extracurricular activities at in my college. And yeah, I guess pretty much like every other college college kid does.
Yeah, so just to add to that from my side, Jidda was my immediate senior, and I was very lucky to be in touch with him in many ways. Like we were in the same startup, and we were working on different cool stuff together. But apart from that, when Jidda was in his second year and third year mostly, he was doing amazing cool stuff. Like he was representing college in different coding events and hackathons, and I guess you also did that in a few national events. Also, you went to Delhi and places. So he was at his own pace, and I think that's what like took him to his dream, like this dream company of many people, like Flipkart. Okay, thank you, Cheta. So moving forward,
Sure.
uh, uh, so the
I
first
think I'll be
question.
touching on that point also later, how and why I did a lot of things like that. So I'll be touching that point later on in my talk. So yeah, I guess we can start. Yeah, sure.
Sure, we can do that. So the first question, Cheta, why did you choose engineering and computer science?
Okay. So yeah, honestly, so I do not have a very firm answer, but I was very interested in two or three things. One of them was physics. So I scored. I remember those days when I was getting into engineering. I got a, like, I guess, very good marks in after in 12, and both in computer science and physics. And after that, I had to choose between them. So I was very interested in astrophysics, or something related to computer science, or something related to purely physics. So these were my choices. And the thing is that you have to make decisions in a very realistic way. We always think that, yeah, I can pursue anything, I can go for anything, but you have to make sure that what you're choosing, has a realistic goal, and it has to be something that you can look forward to. So I guess out of all those decisions, I chose computer science because of my interest. So computer science, why? Because uh, I have been involved in computer science since class 9 or 10, when I started programming for the first time. And I remember how I programmed my first Java game. It was a hand cricket game I did using command line, and it was pretty fun because I shared that to a lot of people, a lot of my friends, and everyone was super excited, super interested to play that. It was like so fun that I created on my off time, and it was being used by so many people. It was very fun to watch. So there was this thing that you create something and it can be used by so many people, just like, for example, Bingebee. So this is something that was created by Shovik and his team, and like, we are already making a huge progress with that. So I think computer science has this huge magic that you can do something, and at the comfort of your sitting at the comfort of your room, and you can make like thousands or 10,000s or lakhs of people can use it in a good way. Even it can be used in a bad way. So I guess there's a lot of power, and with great power comes great responsibility. So I think, considering all those factors, I went ahead with computer science. And there was a decision I had to make, whether I would pursue computer science honors in terms of BSc and MSc, or should I pursue an engineering line. So I guess it was a pretty easy choice for me, because I think it is very simple that if you pursue an engineering, there's a quantity difference that you have to study for 4 years. Very simple. Whereas if you're doing a BSc and MSc, you'll be studying for 5 years. So I think that matters a lot for most of the people, most of the families, that you try to complete your graduation as soon as possible, so that you are sure that what you want to do after that. If you want to go for masters, if you really want to work forward to work in some company. So I think, yeah, I wanted to complete my education, graduation early, and I think that engineering was the easiest way to do that. And I got to like that. I don't think that was a bad decision. I really look forward to that. I really look back to that in a good way. So I hope I could answer. If any
Cool.
question,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, one question, one thing, guys. If anyone has any questions after I finish a question, you guys can drop your questions. I would love to answer them. Or
Yeah.
should we have a QA section separately, Shobit?
Yeah, Q&A section is a separate section that we are gonna address after all the questions are over. That is gonna be there for 20 minutes.
Sure,
Meanwhile, you
sure.
can just keep posting in the chat box. If anything grabs Jidda's attention, you will just address it. So, okay, that was a great answer, Jidda. So, moving forward with the advice from Ben Parker, with great power, there comes great responsibility. The next question for you: what was your journey throughout engineering? Like, how did you spend those amazing
Yeah,
4 years?
I think this is the right question to answer the point we were talking about earlier. So yeah, so my journey was pretty, I guess, full of ups and downs, full of hard work, full of fun. So I guess I tried a lot of things. So I guess that is one. So okay, I'll start from first year. It was basically me coming from school as a very immature guy who is studying at a university. And I guess at our university we had only 1 year to look forward to, so it was pretty a tense situation that you don't know what is going to happen, what are the types of placements that would happen. So we guys had to be very cautious about how we are preparing ourselves. So I guess first year was all about that, being attentive, attending the class courses and all, nothing extraordinary. I think attending the classes, attending, doing assignments, coursework, everybody knows, like lab work and stuff. So that is how first year went through. By the end, by second year, I guess I was pretty interested in different activities, as in extracurricular activities, such as volunteering for events. uh, you know uh, adding to that, I had participated in a lot of technical fests. And basically second year was a year where I did a lot of networking, did a lot of entrepreneurship events too. went to different places to just try out what I really like. um, I also did a lot of things in terms of computer science because I knew that by second year you are already learning a few important subjects. So I was trying out game development. I was trying out web designing. I was trying out a lot of things. I started actually machine learning by the end of second year. So I did a lot of things that I thought might grab my interest. Android programming and stuff like that. I tried a lot of things that I thought might be very helpful to me or might be helpful in learning, or just trying to get as much skills as possible outside of college. So by second year, I guess, by second year I was pretty good in understanding that something like machine learning actually grabs a lot of my interest, and it has a lot of interest. I could understand that, I could learn that very well very quickly. So I kind of kept building on that, and I was not, uh, like you find your interest by trying different things, and that's how I guess I would like to answer that question that you asked earlier, Shovik asked earlier, is that how do you understand that, like what is the right thing? I guess you need to try out a lot of things and find out which one your interest aligns with. So I tried out during when I had the time. I guess for people in the second year, they should use this time to try out different things, try out different technologies, different domains, even different types of industries if they want to find out where their interest lies, be it web designing, be it web development, be it machine learning. So you have to find out where your interest lies and try to build on that. So I did that, and around third year, by the mid of third year, I guess I was already applying for internships. And I remember the story of my first internship where I kind of messaged the CEO of a company, of a very small Delhi-based company, and I actually did a lot of such cold mails, and one or two of them, kind of reached out to me that yeah, we are fine with offering you an internship. Uh, so yeah, I think that journey was actually, that part was after second year when I was done with a lot of events and a lot of like extracurricular activities. I was more into that I have to do something for my placements and stuff like that. So third year was about that, focusing on studies and focusing on internships and trying to get as much industrial experience as possible. And yeah, I guess by third year end to fourth year mid, I guess I already had two internships. One of them was a major one. And yeah, that was by fourth year. And other than that, I think fourth year you don't have to study a lot in college. So I guess most of the time college would allow you, if you want to do some internships or do some project work. So by the end of fourth year, I went to Bangalore to pursue an internship with Rakuten, which was my first professional company out of my first company out of my college. And yeah, I guess I did that during my final semester, fourth year, last semester. And yeah, then I graduated and started working. I guess it now that I look back to, it looks like pretty smooth, but when I was back there, I guess I was more about trying out. It was a random search of different things and trying out what works best for me, and where can I do good. I guess that's what I can think about.
Cool. That was a hell of a journey, and that was a very exciting journey. I guess people are gonna be inspired, like how diverse a simple engineering journey can be. And I have seen you doing that. Jidda was not only doing technical stuff; he was also a part of a media startup, and he also acted in a short film that eventually I directed. So being a guy, so tech savvy guy, and he was very good in studies, and he was also doing things like acting in a short film, that actually diversifies your personality if not your career. So okay, taking things
And I
from
think
your,
I think that is very important, Shovik, because
yeah,
if you are someone who's just studying a subject and you're just working for that, in that company or something, I guess you have a very limited experience. But I think this 4 years of engineering is an amazing window in your life where you can try out a lot of things. So I guess a lot of people say that engineers are, like you see everyone who has done an engineering and doing different things. I guess people don't relate to it very well because people, like there's a huge lot example set where we see that people trying out different things in their 4 years of life, and they find out that the reason they started to study engineering, they got admitted, is not what their passion lies in, which is very okay. I don't know why a lot of people make a kind of it is kind of very fun in the meme community, but it's kind of, like I guess the 4 year window that you get, it's amazing to find out what interests you, what
Vintage
aspirations
and
you have,
graceful. Yep, yep, yep.
what
Sorry.
aspirations you have, and to pursue that. I think if it's not related to something you are currently doing, you can go ahead and do that along with your studies also. So that is something, I guess, that is why I kind of feel that engineering gives you a lot of everything, and you can also focus on something that you really want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just totally relate to that. Okay, taking lessons from this answer. Moving forward, Jidda. Uh, what is Fang? Actually, this is not Fang anymore. It has just become Mang after Facebook renamed themselves, the parent company from Facebook to Meta. So, anywho, we will take the Fang. What is Fang and how was the term coined? And I will combine the thing with the next question. And like, why do you think people are so much interested in Fang, not any other big companies like Microsoft, Adobe, and other things that does not fall into Fang? What is your take on this thing?
Okay, so I think if I want to address this question, there's some background that needs to go. So we have to understand that this term was coined pretty much long back actually. Why? Because the reason of coining this term Fang was nothing related to computer science. Number one, this was more like Fang was like, if you go back 10 years down the line, I guess Fang was some, along with I guess Microsoft also, where some of these five, six, seven companies, along with Alibaba and some of the other companies that were kind of having their tech stocks, the stocks they had were kind of surging very high. So some trader, I guess this was not a computer science term. This was coined by some trader who said that if you invest in these companies now, maybe 10 years down the line, maybe right now, you would get multi baggers or something like that. So that is how the term Fang came in, and then it came into the community through the help of LinkedIn. Everyone, YouTubers on LinkedIn. So I guess that is how Fang came into the picture. But if you're talking about the software engineering aspect of that, so yeah, 10 years back these companies were doing great, but if you're looking at now, I guess, if you look at the other stocks, there are a lot of companies doing excellently well. So I guess Tesla should be included above any of these. And there are companies that are doing even better than that. So I guess this term has not changed, but this has become more like a Fang like company. It's no more Fang. So it does not matter if you get into either of these five companies or four companies. It's like what type of company. So these are some of the companies that are famous for a few of the things. Number one is that they pay high. Very frankly, they pay very well to their engineers, to their everyone, to their employees. They pay very well. Number two is that the stocks that you get. So if you're working at a company, you get some amount of stocks. It depends. Not every company would provide. So these companies give you good stocks, and the reason that it's great, because obviously having a Google stock is better than having a, you know, just for example, I'm not let's say for example, if you consider a different stock in the Indian market, it's very different, right? So the growth aspect of a Google stock. So there is a lot of growth aspect that also lies there in working at such companies. Number three is that the global exposure that these companies provide. So these companies are few of the companies that have global exposure. So you develop a service, you develop a feature, it will be used by throughout the entire world. That does not mean that only these five companies are doing that. So there are like currently there are like hundreds of companies that are in this list of Fang like companies. But yeah, so I think that is how we can address this Fang thing. Coming to the second slide, next slide, I guess there was this what is the list of, can we go to the next slide?
Sure, Jidda, sure, Jidda. So
Yeah,
the next slide is basically like, if not Fang, like,
right.
if the what are the other opportunities that does not fall into Fang but that can be better than Fang or actually equivalent. So like, list of good product based company, if not Fang.
Absolutely. So, okay, to understand that, I'll have to jump into that. What is a product-based company and what is a service-based company, and the basic difference to that. I think there is a uh, small gap in between them, but it's a very simple thing to understand. So, a service-based company is you're basically having clients that are giving you projects, and you're developing that with the help of the engineers, or outsourcing that to different companies. to develop that. Whereas a product based company is something who is working on their own product. So for example, Google is having their own product. It's not the main product I'm talking about. There can be small projects that it can do for other clients, but the main product is something that they are doing on their own. But if I take the example of TCS, TCS does not have their own product. So for example, Aadhaar was a project that was taken up by TCS, and some of the engineers of TCS were allotted to work on that. So it's more like a project based. It was more like a client based work. But a product based company is known for their self own product. So yeah, I think that is the very basic difference. Now, why do people think that product based companies are better? There are a few reasons actually, not much. I think a lot of people talk about the work quality. Definitely, it is there, but I would say that in a product-based company, you are a lot more responsible for a lot of work that you do, and essentially you get a lot of ownership and you get to work on the exact product. But if you're working in a company where you're working just on project to project basis, you're essentially allotted to a project. You get to to work on that project, and next year or something you might be working on a different project which is completely different from that. So there's a lot of ownership that is different in these types of companies. But you have to understand that there is no difference in terms of learning. So I see a lot of people say that you don't get to learn in a service based company, which is absolutely wrong. You get to learn a lot, but you have to understand that which project you are a part of. So if I'm a part of a really good project where I am working on something from scratch, when I'm building something very helpful, very uh, complicated, and I get to learn from that, it's great. I mean, you don't have to kind of always compare yourself. But but the chance of that is much higher in a product based company, because the quality of work, the difficulty or complexity of work is much more higher usually in a product based company. And this is one of the major reasons. Another thing is definitely the pay scale. So the pay scale, an average is at a product based company will be, I guess, usually at the starting level would be 2 or 3 times more than that a service company would offer. So I guess pay is also something different, also something important. And so I think that is another reason that product companies pay a lot more to their engineers. And yeah, now coming to the list of good product based companies. So I think, okay, so you have to understand that there are companies that are startups, that are big product companies or big tech companies. Now coming to that list, I guess we already know that what are some of the good product companies now. uh, okay, I cannot give a list of good product based companies right now from my mind, but surely I will provide that if I find that somewhere, or I can create something like that. But the thing is that you have to find out how you can understand if a product company is good or not for you. Is that you have to see that what you're actually looking for. So the product that they're working on. So for example, if I'm talking about Flipkart, my current company, so Flipkart is working on their own product, that is the marketplace, which has, like, they have 300 million monthly visits. So for example, the website flipkart.com, and it is an old statistic, so currently it is much more higher than that. So I guess 2 3 years back this was this. So monthly there is like 300 million visitors that reaches the flipkart.com website. So you can understand the scale of the website, you can understand the scale of the product, and what complexity goes into a simple, what looks like simple but much complicated e-commerce application. Similar to that is very much similar to that is Amazon, Rakuten, Alibaba, and different companies, right? So they have their own products, and you are working on that. Now the thing is, if you're looking into different type of company, let's say Atlassian or uh, Adobe, for example. Okay, so they have their own product. So Atlassian, I'm not sure how many of you, I was also not very aware of what Atlassian does. So Atlassian builds software that is used by a lot of software engineers and the developer community. So for example, there's Jira, there's Confluence, and there's a lot of software that is used by pretty much every software development company, especially startups and big companies also. So you have to understand that if a product company is working on a product, what is the market of that product, what is the audience of that product, how many people at least that you can understand. So for example, if I take the example of Uber, so right now if I check my phone, I will have at least few apps like Uber, Zomato, Flipkart, Amazon. I'll have some websites like that. So these are some of the apps that I use daily, every day. So there's a lot of like a lot of congruence in what we are using day to day, and being able to work on something like that. Okay, so yeah, I think there's a lot of factor that comes into the picture that you want to understand that which is a good product company. So I guess you'll have to look into that. What is the type of work that they are doing, and what is their customer base? What is the, if the product is, let's say, a very important product, what, how many people actually use it? You need to look at, do you actually use it? Do you actually like the product? So for example, if I look into a product, uh, let's say Slack. So Slack is a product that a lot of people use daily. So I will just, for me, I'll feel that what is the complexity of Slack. So there's like billions, millions of people using it daily. So just I would probably think about that. If I join a product company, how much I would be able to learn, right? So there's this growth aspect that you need to think about. So I guess all of that comes into the picture, and also different different pay scales. So for example, if I would definitely not compare different companies and their pay scale here, but if you do a very simple Google search, you would be able to understand how different product companies pay. So for example, company XYZ can pay 2x times, but a product company, ABC, can pay X times for the same role, right? So you have to also think about that, and there's a lot of complexity that goes into understanding what is for like a good product based company. I missed one point, that is the culture. So I think culture is a very important part. So being a part of a good company would help you be a part of a very good culture. If you're in the engineering domain, you'll be part of a very good engineering culture. So what do I mean by an engineering culture? Essentially, understanding. So as a junior, since as fresher, most of you would be joining companies after your fourth year, right? So you would find that a lot of companies have a lot of emphasis on the aspect of how software engineering done, rather than how what is the product result is. So but what I mean by that is, there's a lot of companies which focus on the result, that we need this project by, let's say, we need this software by 2 weeks, and we want to give this solution to the client. And there's a lot of hurry that goes into that process, and the process is not followed. A lot of reviews are not done properly, and there's a lot of things that you miss out on that process. But there's a lot of companies, especially product based companies, because they, as I said earlier, they have their own product, and they know that when they want to release this feature. So for example, if tomorrow Flipkart comes with a feature, and they realize that, okay, we do not have to hurry, we do not have to release that feature in 2 weeks, we can take at least 1 month to release that. And they can give a lot of emphasis on how the development is done, what scale they will be getting, right? So uh, the quality of the product is ensured at a much higher level, because definitely it's their own product, and they have the time, and lot of focus emphasis goes on to how the quality of the product is done, rather than the time. Time is also important, but quality is very important. So you get to learn a lot in that process, and the engineering culture is something that you will absorb a lot from. So there's a lot of companies that have a very good engineering culture. So for example, even in this slide, as we can see, it shows like Adobe is a very good company, I would say. Atlassian is a very good company. Flipkart is definitely a very good company. It's one of the, I guess, India's startup king is Flipkart. And like considering the engineering culture at Flipkart or Swiggy or Uber like companies, for a engineer who joins, I guess he will be transformed within a few years if they join such kind of company, because you get to learn a lot from such companies. It's not necessary that you have to join a FANG company for that, because what you see that um you might not get excellent work at a FANG company because of the huge size of the company. It's a global company. But you see, if you get to join a company like Swiggy, Zomato, or let's say there is a lot of startups also that is currently there. You get to learn a lot. Essentially, the responsibility given to you is much more, because the team sizes are smaller. The responsibility is much more, and essentially you get to learn a lot. So I guess I was more or less able to answer this question, that you don't need to focus on FANG, just those five companies, but you have to find out the trait that is similar to other companies. And trust me, there's a lot of good companies in the market, even better than FANG. So by better than FANG, I mean the slide that is being currently shown. I mean, I think at least three or four of those companies pay much more than a lot of FANGs. And the work quality is also very good. You'll get to learn a lot. So I guess I would suggest that don't focus on fang only, but focus on fang like companies, and focus on good product companies that you'll get to learn from, that you'll get to work at, and you'll be proud of working on projects that is being used by a lot of people.
Cool. Thank you, Jitda, for this amazing insight. Like I personally got a lot of insights that I did not know. Like the thing you said about Atlassian and other things. I guess people got to learn a lot about from this answer. Okay, moving forward. Like yeah, this is just a slide to show you some good startups. That is basically product-based startups in India. There
Right.
is
I think
coordination. Yeah.
most of the companies shown here, I personally got offers from a few of them. They are like all of them are very good companies. And why I'm saying very good companies is that Zeta is an amazing company. Code Nation, CureFit, Create Media.net, all are very good companies, which I think would pay you much more than a FANG company would pay you out of college, and the work you will be learning is excellent. So I think these guys would pay you very well at par with Uber, Swiggy, Flipkart, or such kind of companies. And the work you will be learning is amazing because these are smaller companies. It's in a phase that is currently growing, and if you're part of a company that is growing, you get to learn a lot than a company that is at the stage of currently Amazon, which is at a very big company, and you might not get to work on something that is uh, you know so for example, if I ask you and ask anyone that, let's say you are working on your own startup and you get to work on a project. So you get to work on that from scratch, and you get to build something from scratch, and you see how that product evolves. So you'll get a lot of such kind of opportunities in these companies that is currently being shown in the screen, but you might not get such opportunities in a very big company. I guess
Cool.
a lot of people is able to relate to that also.
Yeah. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So, taking that energy from my co-founder, I would just to add a few things. Like, I also feel that when you the startup space in India is basically very fresh right now. So, whatever startup you're gonna join, be it a billion-dollar startup or be it a small startup, you are gonna you're going to experience a validation or a sense of belonging that will come from like being able to giving effort to some job that will create a lot of impact. Because when you as Jidda said, when you will work in a project where there are very less number of people involved but that is touching a lot of people's life, say Zomato or Paytm or Razorpay, that is used by like millions of people, millions of Indians. But those companies are not big like Fang. But if you work in these companies, the employee strength is very less, but you will be able to create a lot of impact. And I think above everything, above even above the money, that sense, like I am contributing to some technology that is being used by so many people, and this is my share of effort that I have put in. I'm responsible for uh, uh, this percentage of effort that made this thing possible. I think that makes you feel very good. Anywho, moving forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just one point I would like to add. So I was interviewing for this company. It was a startup. I won't name. It is one of the popular food delivery startups, and So I had this interview with this person. Is engineer. He was an old engineer, senior engineer from that company. So he told me that he worked on the website, like landing page of that company, that food delivery startup. I won't name. Uh, but yeah, so I think that's an amazing feeling that you get to say. So for example, in my current company, I interacted with a few folks who had worked on the checkout feature of Flipkart. So just imagine, like, the feature that you are working on is being used by what, like, millions and millions of people. So at 1 second it's being used by thousands of people are checking out on this website. So features like that, services like that, I guess if you get to work on, you get to learn a lot, and it can be anywhere. So I guess focus on the opportunities that would help you learn, not just on the big name and branding. Also, branding is also important, as I said in the previous slide, that focus on growth perspective, branding and all will ultimately come to you.
Exactly, absolutely. Okay, moving forward, like how to prepare for product-based companies. I guess this is the biggest question that the second year aspirants for product-based companies have in mind. So you being a guy who have cracked like two product-based companies and maybe more than that in number of interviews, just guide them or whatever you have to say on this thing.
Sure, sure. I think this is this can be a different episode on its own, because this is a very big discussion how to prepare for that. But just touching up on that, I'll touch upon a few points because this is a very big. This can be, we can talk about this for 1 hour separately, but few points, I guess. Make sure that what product company basically look for, especially for people watching this. Most of them are college going to be and interviewing in 1 or 2 years, I guess. Make sure that you have very good fundamentals of computer science. Make sure that you're strong in terms of problem solving. It does not mean you have to do computer programming, you have to be 5 star or 6 star coder. It means that you are a good problem solver. Okay, so just practice a little bit of problem solving. You should be very strong in terms of algorithms. If you are applying for software development roles, you should be very strong in algorithms. You should be very strong in fundamental computer science subjects. So for example, by that, what I mean object oriented principle, and I mean databases. I mean like what else we had OS, operating system. So these are some of the subjects that will be there for a long time as you kind of grow in your career. So these are some of the fundamental subjects, so make sure you study very well. And yeah, so those are some of the points. Other than that, I think doing some good projects while you have the time, because right now people in second year have the time. 1 second, I think there's a lot of noise. Yeah, so I think you guys currently have the time, so make sure you use the time to build some good projects, projects that leave an impact on your profile, which make your resume make your resume much more noticeable, make your resume much more noticeable, so that even if you don't, even if such, because obviously I think companies like Flipkart, Adobe, Amazon is going, but companies like Flipkart, Adobe, and if I talk about like various companies from the previous slides, media.net and all, they don't visit every college, so you won't get the chance to ask your campus placement officer to request them to sit for that job. You have to be good enough, you have to be skilled enough, you have to have a very good profile, so that even if you apply through the career website, you can be shortlisted. So make sure you're building yourself in that aspect, not just waiting for that company to visit your college or university and apply for that. So most of these companies don't. So for example, for the sake of Flipkart, I know that they don't hire from any place other than IITs and only some of the NITs. So make sure that you're preparing in a very good way. Essentially, if you get a chance, if you get one chance to crack the interview, you should be able to do that. So be very good at problem solving, be very good at computer science fundamentals, have some good projects that you can talk about during the interview. And I think, yeah, I think it's great if you can have some experience, small experience developing in some terms of development also. So yeah, I think these are some of the basic things that I could touch upon. But if I go deep, it will be, yeah, I think we can take another session for that.
Yeah, thank you for the heads up, Jidda. We will definitely arrange another session on this thing separately with you. And if you guys want that, the 47 people who are here, if you guys want that, just to show your enthu, you can just click on the WhatsApp logo and join our WhatsApp group and Discord server and follow us on all the social media icons that is listed here. If we get enough number of joinings right now, then we will get the message that you are actually interested and we will bring that event even sooner that you can imagine. Okay, moving forward, Jidda, the next question I have for you, like, how did you get into Flipkart? What was the story? The story everyone wants to learn.
Yeah, sure. I think for me, I was actually interviewing for a lot of companies. I applied to a lot of companies back. I guess I got into Flipkart what like 4 or 5 months back, and yeah. So by the beginning of 2020, I was by the beginning of 2021. I was applying for a lot of companies, and I was also getting a lot of calls from different companies in terms of getting recruiters reaching out to me over LinkedIn and through email and website and all. So yeah, I guess out of many companies, I got this call from a Flipkart recruiter once upon a time, like on a very fine morning. And before that, I applied through the career website, where I didn't. This was not a referral. And yeah, I guess I want to focus on that referral point also later on in this answer. So yeah, talking about Flipkart, I guess I applied what I guess 2 3 months back. I guess in November or something of 2020, and I got a call from them in January or so while I was on a trip. I was definitely excited, but I was not ready. So they scheduled the interview for me, and I would definitely. Should I talk about the entirety of the interview, or do you have a question for that later? Hello.
Yeah, Jidda. You can just
Sure.
address it in a short way. I guess people are
Sure.
eager
Sure.
to listen to that.
Sure. So I think, yeah, I guess in terms of interview, I guess they scheduled the interview. We had an initial round of discussion about what the role was with the recruiter, how the what the role was, and what is the expectation, what is the type of interview. And yeah, I'll talk about the interview, Devendra. So the first round was basically a machine coding round, which is essentially uh, you have to design a project in a very short time, about 2 hours. You are given a small topic, not a topic, it's like a problem statement. It's very different from computer programming. Essentially, you're given a problem to solve. For example, if I say that build food deliveries, food delivery app, so some build something like a Swiggy or Zomato. So you have to build the project from scratch using very simple any object oriented programming language. So essentially you need to know that how do you, what they look for is that you can code very well or not, and how you think. So essentially how you take a very big problem and break it down to small functional parts, and kind of go ahead and implement them in a short limited time where stress and pressure is involved. So that is one of the first round, and at Flipkart it is called machine coding. uh, it's essentially a machine coding now. It's essentially the same for Uber and Swiggy also. They also have similar rounds. After that, I guess once that round is done, if you are through, I was able to clear that round, and I went to the next round, which was a problem solving round and data structures. So I guess a lot of you have heard about data structures and algorithms, and that is the round that is basically on data structures and algorithms where problems are discussed. So usually it's a 1 hour round where you can be talking about 2 or 3 problems. You need to code, you need to solve them. um, there can be another round which is similar to that, based on based on your performance on this round. So, and after that round there is a hiring manager round, or which is very popularly called the bar raiser round in Amazon and many companies, which is essentially you're talking to the manager you'll be reporting to in the team, and he'll be asking you any question. Basically it can be anything from your previous projects to what is your favorite food, anything like that. So it is a very open-ended discussion. I guess I would not be able to say that what is the topic it's being told on. It's a very open-ended discussion that you want, that your manager wants to interact with you and just find out if you're really good for the role, if you have the technical expertise for that role. uh, do expect some questions in technical fundamentals. Java concurrency, threading and all stuff is might be asked for some companies. For some companies they won't ask, depending upon the level of the interview. So for example, I can talk about Flipkart, Uber, Swiggy. So they kind of generally they I heard from a lot of people and from some of my experiences interviewing that they ask questions on concurrency and threading aspect of Java. So why am I saying that? Because I guess many of you guys are having Java right now as a course. So make sure you put attention to that subject, Java, DBMS, and OOPS and stuff. So yeah, I guess if you're good with those, after that I got through, and I guess after a week or so I got the call. And yeah, I guess it was not just Flipkart. I got calls from a few other companies too, and finally it was my decision that which company I want to choose. So I went ahead with Flipkart, which was like one of the companies I really wanted to join while I was at college. So yeah, that was the
Cool.
story.
That
Yeah,
was
I really wanted to talk about referrals. So a lot of people reach out to me for referrals, and trust me guys, getting a referral is, it's very easy these days. You can reach out to people for referrals, but converting those referrals is the tricky thing. So I can refer anyone for a role at Flipkart. Any other person can refer anyone for a role at their company. But you make sure that you have a good profile. Even if you get a chance to get referred, it does not mean that you will get you'll be called for an interview. So make sure that you have a good profile. As in, by good profile, I mean you have good projects on your resume, you have good knowledge of the technologies that you have working on, that you have worked on. So all of that essentially before calling for an interview, uh, before you're called for the interview, should you be shortlisted. So make sure your chance of getting shortlisted is higher. So make your profile much more strong. That is what I would say. And essentially, you might not get so essentially I can tell you that I got a call at Google without a referral. So it's like, it does not have to be you have to go through referral. It can be anything. It can be simple application. Just make sure to apply. Just don't wait for a referral. If you see an opening, if you just apply and just make sure you're prepared to interview. That is all, I think. A lot of people have misconception about getting a referral and sitting for the interview directly. It does not happen nowadays because a lot of people are getting referred.
Cool. So that's the cherry on the top, guys. Don't forget to hit Jita up in the DMs for the referrals. I will show you the his Instagram and everything ID at the end of this event. So stay there, and I can see there are a lot of questions being asked in the chat window. Just wait. We are gonna end the questions soon, and we're gonna turn on the mics, and we will start the Q&A very soon. Okay, Jita, moving forward, how to apply for big tech companies like Facebook and Amazon, etc. What is the application process? How to get a notification? Can you just say it in a very short way?
Sure. I think one of the simplest ways is just go to their career site and apply. You'll find a lot of jobs. For example, if you want to apply to Google right now, I think I would love to share screen and show, but that is not possible right now. Just go to careers.google.com and just see what is your experience. And even if like, just find what is your relevant experience. So if you are currently at college, just apply for internships. Don't apply for senior roles because you won't get shortlisted whatsoever for that. So apply for your internships right now if you're at university. If you know that you're going to graduate right now this year or very soon in a few months, apply for software engineering junior software engineer roles and stuff like that. So you have to understand that what is the role that match with you. You have to do some research on that because different companies have different roles for them. So you have to find out that what is the role that aligns with your experience, with your knowledge for a given role, and make sure to just quickly go through the job description for that role and just apply. I think that's the simplest way. Just apply and wait for your call. But the thing is that there's a lot of profile that get into the application, and you might not get shortlisted. So for there is referrals, and referrals are nothing but uh, it's essentially that where you apply to the career portal, but referrals are another way of applying where an employee of that company would essentially say that, hey, I have this friend of mine or a junior of mine who wants to work for our company, and I know that he's good at this and this stuff. He's a match for this job description. I think I would love to refer him. Essentially, I am certifying for the quality of that guy, and it does not mean that that guy would be called for an interview. The job, whoever is offering that job, the recruiter would check into that profile. If he is actually a match for that, only then he would be called for the interview. So that is the second way. And I think the third way would be, there's a lot of hackathons. There's a lot of tech events that keep on happening at different places. Like, for example, if I can talk about Flipkart has their own hackathons called Grid. They have GWC for women. They have, so a lot of these companies. Amazon also have something like Amazon Wow. So these big companies basically do what, they create their own events. They create their own hackathons so that a lot of college students can participate and get to see that what is actually happening in the industry. So I think these events are a great way to um, understand, to interact with such kind of employees of these companies. And also they often have a competition where if you kind of win or do very well, get a good rank in such competitions, you can get an internship opportunity, which you can even convert to a full-time role, a full-time offer later on. So I think these are few of the top three ways to get into such companies. I don't think there are these are the popular ways. There can be different ways, such as, like, I have heard about Facebook hiring through a bug bounty and stuff. So I think I won't focus on that much because that is one in a thousand or one in a million kind of. So you find the bug on Facebook or Flipkart or Amazon's website, and you report to them. If you're really good at that, maybe they want to hire you. So I guess that is not a very very confident way of getting into, and you should not depend only on that. So I would not try to highlight that here. Otherwise, those were the main three ways.
Cool. Moving forward, Jidda, uh, like competitive programming on personal project, the biggest dilemma in college. Which one should one focus?
I think yeah, it should be both of that. Trust me, uh, both of them are very important. Uh, so how does competitive programming help? Uh, it helps you in terms of problem solving. You don't have to be a five-star coder or a six-star coder, but if you're solving some competitive programming problems, you get to see that how do you apply the concepts that you're learning in data structures and algorithms. You can apply that and solve a problem. Uh, so in terms of personal project, I think yes, you should definitely do personal projects. It should not be an or for that, optional for that. You have to do at least one or two projects if you are actually a computer science graduate, because having no project is something like a very huge red flag that you surely cannot crack product companies without a project on your profile, unless you are, let's say, a seven-star programmer. So seven-star computer programmer. So why did I say that? Because you have to be really good. You have to be really good at any of these, or you know uh, you have to be really good at any of this. That can be a way, or you can do both of them in a very good way. So for example, make sure you have some good personal projects, essentially something that you worked on end to end. And I think I'll focus on personal projects later on, but
I guess there is some glitch. Someone like just kicked. Like Agniva, I guess there is actually some issue, bro. Can you hear me?
Actually hear
Uh,
you. Let me figure. I don't know. It might be a glitch in the network.
yeah.
Not a problem. Like
Meanwhile,
I'll be trying to figure it out.
Jidda can I asked Jidda to
Uh-huh.
rejoin. I guess Riddhida is also here. Riddhida, are you still here?
What actually happened to Jidda? I mean,
Someone kicked him out.
was
I
it?
don't know.
I don't know. Like what was it?
Riddhida, are you still here?
Hmm.
Jidda, are you here? Agniva, unmute করতো?
am
I
I
don't know.
audible?
Like
Yeah, Jidda, there was some glitch. There was some glitch. Agniva,
Sure.
সবাইকে unmute
there was
করতো?
some. I don't know. It might be glitch.
Yeah, there was some glitch.
I think.
Agniva, just
Should I
unmute
mute
everyone.
everyone or
Unmute kor. Unmute
I
everyone.
cannot unmute? I cannot unmute everyone, right? I mean,
No, no, no,
until
no.
unless they want to speak.
Do it for now. We will ask everyone not to speak unless given permission. Just don't use that unmute option for now.
Yeah. If I mean, if you have by chance have the permission, then please don't do
Please
that.
don't do
I
that.
mean,
Yeah, Agniva,
that's not how you.
unmute everyone.
How can you unmute everyone? You cannot
No, no, no.
unmute everyone because that.
Restriction ta off করে দাও.
Okay. Surely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll.
Jidda, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for that glitch. I guess it's a
Sure,
glitch
sure.
in
No,
the
no
platform.
issues.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
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 it's a glitch in the platform itself.
yeah.
The thing is, like, how far have you guys been able to hear me?
Uh, I guess where were we? I got into. Yeah, you were saying like both of the things are important. You
Sure.
were saying
Okay.
something regarding
Okay.
DSA.
I'll cover this. I'll cover this once again very quickly. So I was saying that you need to do CP. Essentially, you need to be at a good level at CP, computer programming, so that you are able to crack online rounds and coding rounds of various companies. You don't have to be a seven-star programmer or a six-star programmer. That would take a lot of time. That would take a lot of effort. And if you are that, that is definitely great, because it's both of them would take some time from you and commitment. So make sure that even if you are not great at either, try. Even if you are not amazingly good at CP, you try to do some CP so that you are able to have some knowledge of problem solving. And similar to personal project, make sure to do at least a few good projects on your during your engineering time, because you guys are in second year and third year now, so it's a great time to do some projects. So yeah, I think projects are something that would help you a lot to discuss about that during the interview. So I think the best way to manage this is having a good balance of both of these, unless you're sure that you're very interested in computer programming and you want to actually do that in a very focused manner. So a lot of people confuse computer programming with interviews and all. So computer programming is a sport. It's like there's like ACM ICPC for that. So you have to be really, if you're really good at that, you have ACM ICPC and different events for that. And yes, a lot of companies, many good product companies hire through your CP rankings and CP profile, but it does not have to be the only way. So make sure you are good at computer programming, but you don't have to beat yourself up just because you are not a 5-star programmer or a 6-star programmer. It's not something very difficult or very something very you have to do. There are ways that you can still enrich your profile other than that. So make sure to have a good balance between both of these.
Cool. Thanks, Jidda, for giving that in like deep answer. Can you just turn on your camera, Jidda, if you don't have any issue? Uh, it is off. Okay,
Is
thanks.
it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah, yeah.
To everybody, I guess there is some glitch, or I don't know. There is some issue in the platform. It was never been before, but we're trying to resolve it as soon as possible in real time. Just to just in case if you get removed, many people just complain they also got removed. Make sure to rejoin and rejoin again with the same link that has been provided. Okay, moving forward, Jidda, we are running out of time, so we will cover these topics in a very fast way. If you don't have any problem, Jidda, like there are only very few questions left. So, how to prepare for competitive program? If you can say in a brief way.
I think if you're preparing for competitive programming, it's you have to practice. Trust me, you have to study algorithms and you have to practice. So the best way to prepare for competitive programming, as I can relate, because I participated in ACM ICPC and cleared the regionals and few rounds there. So we had a very dedicated team where uh, as you have, I guess, already have had a session with Riddhi Datta. So we guys were a team and a few other folks. Uh, so we had a very strict calendar, very strict schedule where we would be practicing only such competitive programming problems and learning from that. So the only way to prepare for CP is to actually do CP. There's no book, there's no course for that. Trust me, guys. There'll be. I think right now there's a lot of YouTube courses and paid courses, but none of them actually teach you how to be a 5-star coder or a 6-star, 7-star coder in real, because this is something that comes to you by practice, and you kind of develop patterns that are very complicated patterns in your mind, and how to solve a problem quickly and complicated problems quickly, which algorithms to use. So, and in terms of CP, it's very complicated and very different than just applying algorithms. It's much more complicated in terms of time complexity and a lot of stuff. So I guess the only solution for this would be actually do competitive programming, go on websites like CodeChef, Codeforces, and actually participate. So SPOJ is also there, SPOJ. So yeah, there's a lot of websites for that. Just go ahead and practice.
Cool, Jidda. That was a great answer. Moving forward, the next slide. What type of projects one should work on for good resume? Can you just give a few examples?
I think there is no single answer for this. This has to be very much related to what is your skill. So, someone who is kind of very interested in Android development should not be having projects in machine learning. Simple common sense. So, he should have good projects in Android doing apps, and whatever you're doing. So, for example, an Android guy who is interested in Android development should create 1 or 2 apps and try to push them in Play Store or App Store. And by that, what I mean, that you have done something end to end from scratch and you have actually pushed it to production. Similar thing, just just remove the Android part and replace it with, let's say, machine learning. So you develop a model, you productionize that model, and that model goes into production, is being used somewhere. You build some project, you do a hackathon, where you actually do a project end to end. Do the same thing for any other any other types of skills in terms of within computer science. Let's say game development. You develop games and they are actually being used by a lot of people. You actually can show that game has been used. You develop a website. You develop a website for a if you're a web developer, if you want to go into software or web development, you find a cause that is around you or in your college, in your university, that you can actually solve by software. You build something like that, and just have it as a project, work on it end to end, and you'll be facing a lot of problems that you solve along the way. And I think that is a great project to have. So for example, if I take a very small example, let's say you have a shop nearby to your house, and that shop does not have a website. So you see that if you can create a very small website and you can actually get a lot of online traffic for that shop, maybe that's a very good project. And like, you can actually have that on your resume. So there's nothing bad in that. So something that you can work on end to end, and something that brings real impact, real value to someone or some business. So I think that is a good project to have. And what is a bad project, I would say, is something that you're copying from just internet or GitHub or something. You see that this is a very popular topic, just copy it from internet, make a duplicate of that, and just put it on your resume. So that's a very bad project, because such kind of projects or such kind of things are very easily spotted by interviewers, very easily spotted by recruiters, and uh, whoever is hiring you. So make sure to not do that mistake, but make sure to do your own projects, and try to innovate however you can, and try to work on those projects end to end.
Cool. That's great. Moving forward, how many projects are sufficient? Any number you want to give?
I think minimum of two. I'm not sure about the maximum. People can be very interested in doing projects. So as I said, someone might not be into computer programming. Someone can be very interested in development. So they can have a lot of projects if they are good. Just don't bloat your resume, bloat your profile with a lot of projects which are not good, which are copied from the internet. Make sure to have good projects that you have actually worked on, that you know. Um, and yeah, that's it. I guess minimum of two is really good, but even one is good if it's really good.
Great, great. I guess that's the number every industry professional is gonna suggest. Like
Yeah.
people who came before in this event, they also said like 2 to 3 are enough. I guess. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
think we
guess
should.
2 to 3 is enough, because what happens is that usually in interviews, either you show the project, or you talk about the project. So you won't be talking about if you have 10 different projects. So you can have 100 projects on your GitHub, but make sure to the best ones, the ones that the best, the like you want to actually highlight or talk about, they are the ones that you highlight as the best projects. So you can have actually hundreds of projects on your GitHub or something. But yeah, make sure that you have something that you can showcase, something like 2 or 3 good projects that you can showcase and would love to share with people.
Cool. Moving forward, the next question, Jita, is like, should someone go for internships? What is your take on this?
Obviously, someone definitely should go for internships. I am always a supporter of internships, because I personally have done that, and I have seen a lot of people who are against internships. Like, I personally had a lot of friends in my batch who said that internships are of no value. But trust me, it does not. There's a huge amount of learning. There's a huge amount of positive things that you can get from an internship, and it's worth it. I mean, go for internships if you can. Make sure they are paid ones, and you are actually getting to learn something. uh, Guys, like, honestly, I feel that if you get a summer vacation, you sit at home and just watch Netflix. It does not it's not worth the time. Just go out, work for some company. You get to earn also. You get to spend, you get to earn at this age. Getting to earn is a great feeling, I guess. For me, it was. So yeah, you get to earn, you get to work and gather work experience, which you can actually put on your resume, right? You get to work on skills, on you get to learn skills, and get paid for that also. So definitely you need to know some technology to apply for internships. So make sure you are good with that. So for example, an Android developer needs to know some level of Android very well. Otherwise, why would some company pay them, right? Why would some company hire them? So make sure you're good with something, some technology, so that you can grab internships in that domain. And once you're getting the internship, you're getting to a lot of chance to work in the real industry, get to see how actual engineers are interacting in day to day life. And you basically, I think internships are a great window to the actual world. So while you're a student, you can still be a part of a real software engineer's life for 3 to 4 months, 3 to 6 months, right? So I think there's no harm in that. And anyone who says that it's very wrong is blatantly very wrong. And another major aspect I found from my internships is that it helped me get a lot of reach out to a lot of people. Essentially, I met a lot of people in my internships who became lifelong, kind of friends and mentors lifelong. So I think, yeah, that is a major thing. You get to meet a lot of people who kind of go along with your throughout your life, throughout your career.
Cool. Moving forward, the next question, Siddha, like tips and tricks to get into companies like this. Like, if you have any like suggestion, morally or technically, if you can give it to the
Yeah,
top.
I think as we discussed earlier, so I think I addressed this question majorly earlier, that you have to be very good in terms of your computer science fundamentals. You have to be good with problem solving. You have to understand how to solve problems. Like you're given a big problem, you break it down, you solve it in small pieces, or do you take it all totally? Like how do you kind of solve problems? What is your mentality of breaking down problems? And companies like this look for people who are smart, who are intelligent in terms of solving such problems, because they get different problems every cycle, every month, every week actually. And being able to think and solve a problem is a major skill, I think, and you develop that by practice. So in terms of practice, I would say practice solving problems. You have websites like CodeChef and HackerRank where you can practice this problem solving. So, and yeah, having good development skills is something very essential. So yeah, I guess these are the few things that are necessary. Yeah, I won't say that make sure to have great CGPA, because I personally did not feel that having a 9 pointer CGPA matters a lot in the long run. But make sure to have a decent one so that you don't get cut off from the process of interviewing. So if you have something like a 4 or 5 pointer, you might not be able to sit for interviews. So make sure to have a decent one, but it's not necessary that you have to have a 9.5 or something like that.
Cool. That was a great like in-depth answer, Siddha. I also believe in that. Like people have this myth. Like as I make videos on YouTube regarding my college, so people reach out to me also and asking the biggest question they ask, like what is the average CGPA they should mention. But people have this myth like you have to maintain a high CGPA, but that's not always the case. Like decent CGPA is always fine for even big companies, except a few companies they have certain like 8 9 GPA for few companies. Except that everything depends on your skill and how much knowledge you have. Okay, taking that from this answer of Jidda, moving forward, like do college background really matter? Like, what do you think, Jidda?
I think I partially addressed this question earlier, that there are some companies that actually so okay, how do I see this question? How do I see this problem is that, see, people who are, I think the major problem, that major thought that comes to us seeing this problem is that if you're from an IIT or if you're not, right? Very frankly speaking. So you have to understand that people who have gone into IITs, I guess most of you guys have seen Kota Factory and all, they have also worked hard, right? They have worked hard during some phase of their life by which they have cracked IITs and been studying there. So definitely they have a badge of like working hard. So hiring an IITian, you won't be at a loss. A company won't be at a loss in terms of like, it should not be a bad hire in 99% of the cases, because that guy has proven that he can work hard and actually is smart in some sense. But a lot of issue comes up when you're going into different colleges and hiring such people who do not have an amazing college background. So I think how you have to you it definitely matters, but not always. If you can, so for my case, I did not have an amazing college background, but I tried to replace that place that I did not have by different things that I actually have. So if you do not So very simply, so you're going for an interview. You what do you bring to the table? You might not bring to the table an amazing college background. You might not bring to the table an amazing brand, but what skills you actually bring in, what actually value that you bring into the company. What is your value? Your value is not always defined by the college you have studied. It is defined by you, how you how what are the skills you have, what values you bring into the table. So I think you have to increase that if you do not have a great college background. But yes, there's a lot of uh, things, at least right now, that is happening in the space of college background. So there's a lot of companies that do not hire, let's say, people from XYZ college, or do not hire if it's not from XYZ college, league of colleges. So I think that thing is still there, even though many companies have moved on from that, and we have off-campus placements for that. But there's a lot of company that is still doing that thing of college background, looking at that. But uh, I think being on the safe side, if you do not have a great college background, make sure you replace that something that you're missing by something that you actually bring onto the table.
Cool. So that being said, I guess at the end, like knowledge wins over college, and Jidda is one of the biggest, evidence of that. From being a tier three college, he is working in one of the biggest companies in the country. So moving forward, okay, we're at the end of the event almost. The Q&A is left, but before the Q&A, the 35 people who are here, just to give you a small insight about Bingebee again. As I said, Bingebee is an online content curation platform. It's just like Unacademy and Byju's, but for free. You get premium learning and soon entertainment content on our website for free. The contents you would get after searching for 4 to 6 hours, you would get just on your fingertips. You can learn many things from how to play a guitar to Photoshop and everything in a very structured way for absolutely free on our site. So don't forget to like visit our site. It's a new startup that is like growing in the state or in the country right now, and we will be very proud to have you as our initial visitors. So if you want to learn something for free, don't YouTube it. Just go and search on Bingebee. You will save a lot of time. And the next thing we want to say, like Bingebee is partnering with this another startup, Pune-based startup called Codenera. So what code? I guess whoever has come here, they are very eager to get a job, and they're preparing for job also. So Codenera is a startup that trains you for 3 months. They teach you one programming language that can be anything according to your preference, and then their availability. And then after 3 months, Codenera gives you 110% guaranteed placement written on paper. Yes, they don't just say it; they just give you a written agreement on paper that if you perform according to their criteria, they will give you definitely 110% placement. And like 10 to 20 people, since we partnered with Codenera, has already bought the Codenera course from Bingebee website. And this partnership is being made because the Codenera courses were not available for free on the internet till now, but they have agreed, and in on the Bingebee website, you can just click on that button after this event that is written on this page, 100% guaranteed placement, the yellow button, and you will be landing on the Coordinator playlist. So what we have done, talking to the Coordinator people, we have 4 free videos of the course that you are gonna buy for some rupees, that you can get a taste of the course in the through the free videos. There is 4 hours of free content, Coordinator content available on Bingebee website. You can just click on that get 100% guaranteed placement button, and you can see those 4 videos. If you think the learning material is good enough, there is payment gateway. You can buy the course, or you can even book an appointment with us, and we will talk, and you can get guaranteed placement. So the free thing is available, so just go and visit that, and later it's up to you. Okay, moving forward with the event, the Q&A part. So now I guess all of you have that unmute option enabled. You can just unmute yourself and answer the question, or you can just type in the comment box, and Jidda will answer accordingly. Till then, Jidda, I guess there is a lot of question already asked. Can you just go one by one and answer them? I will help you.
Sure, sure. Let
So
me do something. I'll just browse the chat and see what is there.
yeah. And meanwhile, you can start shooting the questions, and you can unmute yourself if you want to talk directly to Jidda. You have that uh, like option. We have given it to you. So
So I see this question from not sure. So learning which coding language is going to help us in the long run. So I think there's a lot. There's a question that I get from a lot of people. I think it does not matter, but trust me. Essentially, there's a few. What do I say? There's a few catch to that. 90% of good companies, essentially, if I talk about FANG like companies, as we already discussed, or product companies for that sake, they do not look for any particular project, any particular any particular language, because if you want to solve the coding round, you can solve it in any language of your choice, be it be it JavaScript, be it Java or Python, anything. Okay, you can even go and solve it in Golang. So it does not matter which language you learn or which language you use, but make sure to at least learn few basic languages. So by basic languages, I mean if you're studying BTech, you should know what is the C language, because it's taught in the course, right? You should have some knowledge of Java also, because that is one of the basic languages that we study while studying OOPS. Otherwise, I think it's good to you're good to kind of have a expertise on any language. I hope I answered that. Someone asked in the end that do we need to learn Dart? No, you don't need to learn Dart. It's completely out of your uh, curiosity if you really want to.
Hello, Jidda, I have a question.
Yeah. Can I get your
Um,
name?
yeah, so my name is Saptarshi Banu.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Jidda, actually, I am in third year and I am particularly interested in Android Studio means app development. So, means I thoroughly have to be very good in Java, obviously for that. I was asking that if I'm fully focused on app development, so how much of the Python should I have to know, or will it be good enough for me to know till I get to a position like I get to a company or like that I can get a job?
My first question is, why would you want to learn Python? Because you're doing Android development, right?
Yes,
Why do
that
you
is
want
the
to learn Python?
thing which I means for college purpose, and I see everybody around is learning Python because say in the future in companies when they come for recruitment, Python is obviously a language we means you have to face. So that is my question: that will I have to go on a detailed basis to learn Python, or like just the basics will be enough for me?
So trust me, one thing I would say is that don't follow the buzz. Whatever people are saying right now, Python was there for the last 5 years, with the buzz of it's the industry thing. Trust me, there have been buzzes like this, and the next thing that would be coming is Golang. It's already kind of on the rise. But trust me, what the company needs, company will already maintain that. So company has been there with Java for a long time, and it's not gone anywhere. Even if Python came in, JavaScript came in. But yes, there are small startups that are actually adapting to that language. So you don't have to write the craze or something like that. But I would, if I was in your place, I guess I would not have learned Python to depth. I mean, if I know Java at a very depth, at an in-depth level, it's very good to go, because that is something. I mean, I can have the best of both worlds. With Java, I can solve Android and develop Android apps, or also I can do interviews in Java. So I don't see anything wrong in learning Java very well and not doing Python in that aspect. So someone who does not need Java at that level might be interested in learning JavaScript, might be interested in learning Python. So I think you don't have to force yourself to learn a language just because everybody is learning. I think that would be my answer. And I think if you are confident that you are enjoying Android, you're enjoying doing Android development, and Java is something that is helping you in that, trust me, even if you're applying for jobs 5 years down the line, that would be very relevant.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, going to the next question. If someone does not have the question from the panel, one second, I'll just scroll up. There's a lot of questions actually. I want to get myself started in bug hunting domain, that is ethical hacking. What are you suggesting for me? Honestly, I do not have much experience in ethical hacking, but um, I mean, as much I do not have great experience to answer this question, but I guess there are some courses that you can do. At least learn how to do there's a lot of bug bounty programs that are also happening. For example, Facebook bug bounty is very popular. And most of the big websites, Intel has a bug bounty program. Most of the companies have a bug bounty program. Once you are understanding what is ethical hacking, once you know how to do this stuff, you know, I'm not very sure because I have not done this thing. There's like SSLs, you have to understand how to do security layer and all stuff like that. So if you are good with that, you can do some basic projects on that. You can start with smaller projects, start with smaller bugs you find, and go on to kind of develop that. So you have to build on that. And I guess yeah, you have to first learn about how to do that, do some trainings, do some online courses, and then build on that. Will ML projects help me to get into product based companies? I don't think they don't do. They also help you, in terms of uh, okay. So the answer to this is kind of has to be more like, so machine learning. In machine learning, what do? We try to develop models. We try to develop algorithms to solve a problem. Uh, if you are not applying for a machine learning role, if you're not applying for a data science role, your ML project might not be very relevant. So if you're applying for a software engineering role or a core software engineering, pure software engineering role, ML projects will not be very relevant, but for a product-based company. But if you can use that ML project to develop a end-to-end web or software application, Android application or something like that, where you actually say that you know ML, but you also know other stuff, so software development. I think that would be very relevant.
Yeah, I guess a lot of new guys are joining in. The audience number is spiking up again. So who have just joined, the event is almost over, but you can still ask question. So don't miss out this chance. So write down the question in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can talk to Jidda. So Jidda, over to you again.
Yeah, I guess Shomarko Dhara has asked this question. Does doing certificate course from reputed organization will help me get into big tech companies? Uh, Single word answer would be no. A single certificate would not help you. You need to have skills to that. So, for example, even if I am talking about the best certificates that are out there, so for example, Oracle has this Java certification, Amazon has this AWS certification. Uh, you can actually ask to people who have been cloud developers or cloud architects as AWS. They might be having that AWS certification, or pure Java developers might have that Oracle certification, but you cannot expect to just show that certificate at an interview and just get the job. So you have to have the skills. So it won't help you. It might be an addition. That's the answer, I guess. How do I simultaneously balance learning new concepts or algorithms and solving problems for coding rounds in interviews? Plus, is there any preference with CodeChef, CodeForces, HackerRank, LeetCode, especially in India? Ognish, actually, the sites you listed, they are all for different reasons. So CodeChef, CodeForces are more for competitive programming. Lead code is for essentially interview perspective. Essentially, if you are for companies, for when you're applying to companies, so they ask more like, in lead code the questions do not have stories involved. In CodeChef and CodeForces, the questions have stories involved, and you have to read the story. You have to understand the algorithm behind that. Lead code questions are very simple, straightforward. You just have to find it simply says that there's a linked list like this and you have to do that. So it's more like you have to understand which one is relevant for you. Are you really looking forward to improving your CP skills? Then don't go for lead code, go for CodeChef and CodeForces. If you're looking forward to interviewing for jobs or something, lead code, HackerRank. I think HackerRank is in between them. It has stories. It also does not have stories. You can do a HackerRank any type for any of the reasons. So I think Lead Code, Geeks for Geeks, these are only for job. But yeah, I think once you're done with that and you feel you're comfortable, you can definitely again go to CodeChef and do some more complicated programs. I hope I could answer that. And how do you simultaneously balance learning new concept and solving problems? I guess uh, how I used to do that is, you always start with some concept, you always start with some knowledge, definitely, and you try to solve a problem that you know about. So for example, I see a problem and I would try to think about an algorithm that I know, but it is not possible because I do not back then, back 2 years or 3 years back, I did not know all the algorithms that I can use. right? So I used to kind of had to, once the contest is over or once I'm not able to solve the problem, I have to go back and look for what approach I might use or what algorithm might be used to solve this problem, and then go ahead and learn that algorithm and try to solve that problem. So it's an iterative process. It does not happen in 1 month or 2 months. It takes years and constant commitment. I hope I could answer you, Agnish. If you have any questions, I guess you can unmute and ask me again. I think after that we have another question. I hope I did not miss any. Participation certificates. In which company should I apply for internships as an ethical hacker? Uh, I'm not very
So
sure how
Jidda,
to answer this
sorry to
question.
interrupt,
So
but there are a lot of questions lined up. So there are,
right, right.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm
So
I'm going down. Right,
yeah, so
right.
just to the audience, it's been already like we are we ran out of time already, but we're gonna keep this Q&A session open for next 10 to 15 minutes max. So ask your questions first and try not to ask lengthy questions so that Jidda can answer more questions. So max 10 to 15 minutes. Please go ahead with questions, but keep it short.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah. Uh, any last suggestion for the first years? I don't think I have any suggestions for first year. I guess enjoy the first year the most, and I guess from second year you can make sure you are studying the courses. Yeah, in first year make sure you're studying, doing the coursework properly. But otherwise, make you have a lot of time. Just make sure to make some good moments, good memories. That is my suggestion. I guess others can have a lot of suggestions. So okay, so the next question from Shubham is how to start freelancing in web development or any other technologies. Is it good to invest time in freelancing? Have you ever done freelancing? I have done a bit of freelancing, not a lot, but I guess you have to go for, there are websites like Fiverr and Upwork where you can apply for your, you can create a profile, and you need to have some projects or some skills that you can show. So you have to create your profile. If people kind of are interested, if the clients are interested, they would call you and try to talk to them and get a project. And you know what, freelancing might not be via Upwork or Fiverr. It can be, as I said, the project that I told about. So for example, you have a nearby store, you reach out to the manager or the owner of that store, and create a website for them. It can be a paid work, and I guess that is also freelancing. So yeah, I guess that answers your question. Is it good to invest time in freelancing? There's nothing bad in that. If you're able to learn something, it's definitely good. But if you're doing it only for the money, I don't think it's something to be bad. If you're learning something, it's great. Do you need to learn Dart? I guess I answered this question. Does C language data structure an important topic for college campus interviews? I am not sure I understand this question, but yes, C is very important for campus interviews. Not just campus interviews, for fresher level interviews, C is important. Devendra has a question. He started with Selenium Java, and I also have knowledge about Java and C too, but I did engineering in 8 years instead of 4. Okay, my 12% is 46. Is there a place for me in 96? Devender, I think you don't have to get disheartened about your percentage or anything like that. Um, if you are skilled enough, and make sure it might be a bit difficult for you, considering the time span you told, like 8 years in engineering, you might have to answer a lot of questions from interviewers. But I guess try to apply for startups and small companies where they would actually put a lot of time interviewing with you and understanding that what was the reason you took so much time and what are the skills you actually have. So develop skills and try to apply with smaller companies, and there you have a much higher chance to kind of break through and do good work.
Yeah, just to interrupt once, Devendra, as you have said, so this Coordinator course, you can check it out. Coordinator does not actually care about your degree. You just have to have a graduation degree, no matter how much time it took you to get that. Even they can open the door for IT sector, even if they have a just honors degree in English. So degree doesn't matter for them. So I will recommend you to definitely check out the free videos and then book a call, and we will talk to you directly and we will look after that matter. And I think Coordinator is for you if you are actually worried about getting into IT sector because of your degree. Anywho, moving forward with the quick Q&A. Over to you, Jidda,
Right,
again.
right. Shubham has another question. When to start doing lead code GFG interview questions? Currently, I'm in third sem currently doing code chef only. Okay, I think in third sem you don't have to really do geeks for geeks or lead code, because it's more like if you are doing code chef, what I found personally is that if you're good at code chef and code forces, you would be good at interviewing also. It's basically how you develop your problem solving. So if you are good at solving competitive programming problems, I think lead code would be easier for you. That is what I have felt from my experience. And I think if you're in third year, you don't have to focus on lead code. I would suggest that make sure that you have the time, so learn more about competitive programming. Go to code forces once you're comfortable with code chef. Do you need to learn spring if you're in college? No, it's not mandatory. If you are interested to learn, you can learn anything, but no, it's not mandatory to learn, and you don't need to learn or anything like that. Do data scientists role interviews have coding rounds and problem solving rounds in it? I'm not very sure. I have not applied for a data. I'm a software engineer. I'm not a data scientist, so I don't think I'm the right person to answer this. Uh, so is CP giving me an additional edge at? Yes, CP would give you an additional edge, but it's not the edge you have to always go for. CP is definitely give you an additional edge. As Ognish asked, that CP is more like it has a lot of math aspect also, more than algorithms and data structures. A lot of maths is also involved. So I think it's much more like it's at a different level. And if you are really interested in doing computer programming, only then to do computer programming. Don't do computer programming just for the sake of doing it. And like if you're interested in it, do that, but it is not the only way, like to build your problem solving skills. Any head start for blockchain development? I guess, yeah, there are courses on Coursera, Coursera and Udemy. You can start with those courses and build projects. Will 1 month internship make impact? Usually it's not 1 month internships, but yeah, if you're 1 month is better than zero. So yeah, I think go for it. If you it's better to do at least 2 or 3 months. And usually 6 months internships are for final year students. But I think if it's better than doing nothing. 1 month is better than doing nothing. How you used to manage time during college days? Manage time for what? I did not get your question, Shubham.
I guess he's asking like with other activities in the college life.
I guess when you're at college, I guess you'll kind of develop this habit. Uh, you have to be, I guess, much more passionate about what you're actually looking for. So as you CP versus dev and classes, I guess during classes you have to do the classes. यार असाइनमेंट तो सब कर लेता है लास्ट नाइट में ही, तो आई वोंट से उसके लिए ज़्यादा कुछ किया था. तो हाँ, मतलब if you are doing CP, you have to put some time. Maybe I used to put some time at night time whenever you're comfortable. I have friends who do it in the morning. And classes, so depending, you have to balance a lot. Like outside of classes, you get a lot of time. Maybe instead of doing Netflix and stuff, you can learn some new skill. I guess that's how I kind of manage. You'll slowly have this kind of develop this habit of managing time and managing uh, what you have to do when you have to do once you know what you have to do. So the when part is easier to manage.
Cool. I guess that was the last question. I can't find any other question. So we will end the session with this because it's already late and Jidda has some other works to do. Thank you, Jidda, for being here, and to the people who is with us till the end. You can see on the slide. This is the LinkedIn ID of Jidda. Uh, just go and connect with him for further conversation and Q&A. Jidda is also very much active on Instagram. So you can also try to hit him up on Instagram if you want. So please note down these IDs and connect with Bingebee. Again, you don't have to write down this thing. You can just click on the icons, social icons. Yeah, Jidda has pasted his LinkedIn link. You can just directly click on that and you can just follow Jidda on LinkedIn. And if you have liked this event, for future events, make sure you click on this WhatsApp button and join our WhatsApp community for daily newsletters and advanced notification for events like this. Next Friday also we have another super amazing event scheduled. Last Friday also we had a wonderful event with Riddhida, a guy who works at Amazon, and we will keep bringing this kind of events every week. We will host another event with Jidda very soon, maybe. So don't forget to join our WhatsApp group by clicking on this icon, and hop into our Discord server by clicking on the Discord icon also given on the top right corner of the screen, and follow us on the Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And Devendra, for you, I suggest you to join our WhatsApp group and message the admins. They will guide you for the coordinator course as you are tends to get into IT, as you have you know complicated college background. Coordinator is the place for you. I am repeating. So Devendra, you especially join the WhatsApp group and DM the admins. So yeah, that's being said, don't forget to visit Bingebee by clicking on the logo or just type bingebee.in. And just to end it in a very positive note, how many people are here? Can you just write it? How did you enjoy the event? And thank you, Jidda, for being here for so long. It's been one of the most lengthiest event we had so far. People were very engaged. Thanks to your public speaking skills, and thanks to your knowledge, and thanks for being so candid. And to the audience, sorry, many of you experienced a glitch. We have fixed that in real time. From the next event also you won't face that. Even Jidda faced that. Sorry, Jidda, that was a bug. We fixed it. So it's a new platform, so you can understand we're developing it. So that being said, Jidda, anything you want to say? Thanks a lot from Team Binchvi.
Sure. Thank you so much, I guess, for having me here. And I guess I enjoyed a lot talking to a lot of people. There were lots of doubts I loved. The QA part was especially very special, very fun for me. So thank you so much for having me. If you guys have any questions, concerns, I guess I'm very active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So feel free to send a invite, have a chat. We'll love to have a chat. So good luck, and thank you so much for joining.
Yup, Jidda. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye, everyone.